Good morning, Year 4. It's Miss Atkin. I hope you are all okay. This is Monday's literacy lesson. So I need your literacy book and your pencil. And the first thing you can do is write today's date at the top of your page, which is Monday the 1st of March 2021. Then write your learning objective, which today is to draft an information text, and then write the subheading SPAG. So pause the video so you can write those at the top of your page. Okay, well done. So for our SPAG today, we are going to be looking at commas again. I know we know so much about commas now, but just pause the video and have a think about when we use commas. When do we need to put those in our sentence? You might have said that we use commas for items in a list. So if we're writing a list, we need a comma. You might have said that we sometimes use commas to change the meaning of a sentence. You might have said to separate clauses within a sentence, because we learnt about that last week, or after a fronted adverbial. So there's lots of times when we might use a comma. Today we're going to be looking at separating clauses again. So, what clauses do we separate with a comma? Pause the video so you can have a think. We separate two main clauses with a coordinating conjunction. For example, you can go to the park or you can stay at home. We've got a comma before our coordinating conjunction. They're two main clauses because you can say them both on their own. So you can go to the park, you can stay at home. We also use a comma to separate a main clause from a subordinate clause with a subordinating conjunction. So, for example, I walked my dog after I got home. The main clause is I walked my dog, because I can say that as a sentence. I've got my comma before my subordinating conjunction, and this is my subordinate clause after I got home, because I couldn't really say that on its own. So, have a look at this sentence. I've got two main clauses joined together with a conjunction. Pause the video to see if you can work out where I need to put my comma in this sentence. Well done. So my conjunction is but. It's a coordinating conjunction because I've got two main clauses. My comma needs to go before my conjunction. So that is where it should be. So well done if you got that correct. So your first challenge is to write out the sentence and put the comma in the correct place. So for Miles, your sentence is penguins live in groups and huddle to stay warm. Spicy, elephants are herbivores, but penguins are carnivores. And hot, lions, golden fur camouflages them in the trees so they can hunt for their prey. Or they can hunt their prey. Pause the video, write out your sentence with the comma in the correct place. Well done. So if you chose Miles, your conjunction is and, so your comma needs to go just before and. If you choose spicy, your conjunction is but, so your comma needs to go before but. And if you chose hot, your conjunction was so the comma needs to go before it. So if you got that correct, you can give yourself a nice tick next to your sentence. Okay, so what is a subordinate clause? We learned about this last Thursday, but just pause the video to remind yourself of what a subordinate clause is. See if you can remember. A subordinate clause contains a subject and a verb, but it needs to be attached to a main clause because it can't make sense on its own. They add more information to the main clause. They always start with a subordinate conjunction as well. Okay, so you might have after, because, although, since. There's lots of different conjunctions you can start with. Looking at this sentence, I've got a main clause and a subordinate clause. And I want to see if we can add the comma in the correct place to separate the two clauses. So lions prey, let's just say are. So lions prey are medium-sized hoofed animals because they are predators. Pause the video and have a think if you can find where the comma needs to go. The comma needs to go before the subordinate conjunction, which is because. So my comma should go between animals and because. Lions prey are medium-sized hoofed animals with the main clause, and the subordinate clause is because they are predators. It has to be attached to the main clause for it to make sense. So your next challenge is to write the sentence with the comma in the correct place again, but this time it's subordinate clauses and main clauses. So pause the video and have a go. Well done. So if you chose mild, your sentence was pandas eat bamboo because they are herbivores. Your comma should go between bamboo and because. Because is the conjunction, you've got your main clause and your subordinate clause. If you chose spicy, your comma should actually go after laying eggs. It's the other way round. Remember we learnt that subordinate clauses don't always go at the end. So after laying eggs, sea turtles leave their nest on the beach and go back to the sea. So here's your main clause and your subordinate clause is at the beginning. And if you chose hot, elephants who live in groups roam great distances to spread seeds. You had to have two commas for an embedded subordinate clause. Elephants who live in groups roam great distances to spread seeds. It's quite tricky, that one, so give yourself a nice tick if you got that one correct as well. Okay, moving on to our literacy learning then. So last week we spent lots of time talking about and learning about our animals still, and on Friday we planned our encyclopedia pages, and today we are going to be starting to write or draft the introduction section and the habitat section. So you should have kept your plans with you from Friday's lesson. It said it on the blog and we mentioned it in Zoom, so you should have your plan with you because you'll need those today. So our challenge today is to write the introduction and the habitat section. In mild, it says for you to copy down the paragraph including words of your own, so you can do a bit of a gap fill for support. And the same with habitats, you can write the subheading and then use the paragraph structure to structure and help you with your paragraphs. If you choose spicy, you have got some sentence starters that can help you with each of the paragraphs. So we'll do the introduction first and then habitat. And then for hot, you're writing your paragraphs, you can choose your own sentence starters, but I've left a list of things that you should make sure to include in these two paragraphs. So you should include apostrophes for possession, brackets and commas, and scientific vocabulary. So I am going to show you mine. So here's my page. The first thing I need to do is write the title of my encyclopedia page, don't I? Because I need to let everyone know what animal I'm writing about. So I'm going to start by writing at the top of my page, sea turtles, because that is what I chose as my animal. Underneath, I can start by putting my subheading. We can all do this, because we're all going to have the same subheading for the first bit, which is introduction. Okay, now I've written my first subheading. I'm choosing to do spicy, so I need to go back and look at my sheet. What's the first sentence starter? If I look, I can see that the first sentence starter in my introduction is this animal is called A. So I can go to my paragraph and write this animal is called a sea turtle. That's its name. It's a noun, isn't it? And I might say a little bit more. I might think about where they live. And they live all around the world, because they do. The only place they don't live is in Antarctica. So, next sentence starter. They have or they are. I'm going to say they have. So they have bony, tough shells. Oh, I could add a little bit of extra information here. Which acts as a shield. That's what. And they also have long flippers. So that's my second sentence. Go back and have a look. They are classified as, okay. Let's carry on then. So they are classified as, need to think about how they're classified. They're looking at my plan. I remember I wrote that they're a reptile. So they are classified as reptiles. So they are a vertebrate. We learnt that in science, didn't we? Okay, so that's next sentence then. They are often known as, that should say they, sorry. They are often known as. They are often known as, they're also called marine turtles as well as sea turtles. Okay, next sentence starter. In the wild, well, that's a gap for my animal's name. So in the wild, sea turtles live. In the wild, sea turtles can live more than 50 years old. Some of them can even be in the hundreds, I found. And then last sentence, on average. What fact do I know on average? I could think about how far they swim or how much they eat. I think I'm going to go about how far they swim. So on average, I need a capital letter. They swim between 300 meters and 1,000 kilometers a day. There's my introduction finished then, so I've finished my last sentence. So now I've done my introduction, I can move on to the habitats section. So you can look at your plan, look at your habitat section, and use the sentence starters or the paragraph structure to help you. So the first thing I need to do is look at what is my first sentence starter. So going back to my page, the habitat of something is, so the habitat of my animal. The habitat of sea turtles is in water, but they nest on land. Okay, next sentence. I'm using my plan to write these. They live mainly in. Okay, thinking about where they usually live. So they live mainly in, or you could say they mainly live in. Oh, I remember reading my facts file and I've written it on my plan that they mainly live in southeastern North America. I've got capital letters because it's a place, it's a proper noun, and south. Just realised I must have moved my page wrong. Right, let's carry on with, so I need to think about my next sentence. Okay, so then the next sentence is their habitat is. Okay, this I can say their habitat is. I can think about what it's like there. So I know that they live in, so it's shallow, and because they nest on the beach, don't they? So it's got with coastal areas nearby, close by. In my next sentence after that one, something often live. So I can start by saying my animal's name is sea turtles often live alone. I did learn that, it's in my plan, as they don't need to social. Then, so next sentence in my sentence starters, in this habitat there are. So I might think about what else there are in the habitat. So in this habitat there are a variety of other creatures here. I could give an example, so including, I know that shrimp live in the same area, so do jellyfish and crabs. Okay, my final sentence, the name of this habitat is, oh, that's a bit tricky. I think the name of this habitat is a marine habitat. There are marine animals as well, aren't they? So the name of this habitat is a marine habitat. I could also think about if it's a micro or a macro habitat. Is it little or is it big? So the name of this habitat is a marine habitat. Or actually, I might change that to a macro habitat because it's really big, isn't it? So there are my first 2 paragraphs drafted now. Once you've done those, you can have a go at the challenge and email it any questions to year 4. So good luck, and don't forget to use your plans to help you.